a new challenge. And I've heard some of your presenters in the past say, it's like detective work. Every time you see a patient, it says, I wonder what's going on. Which is why some doctors have become great writers. Any of you ever read Robin Cook's books? He's an ENT, and he writes kind of murder mystery kind of stories. And they're good because that's what he does, right? He has to figure out the mystery. So, any questions for me?
I have a question. So when you said that you put your wife above medicine, what did you do to do that?
Well, that's an excellent question, and there's a couple of things. First of all, I told her if it ever got in the way, actually I would quit. Now, what I would do instead, I don't know. It never came to that, so I didn't have to. But there were some practical things that tried to make her realize she was first. So that was the day before we had these things. What did we have instead? Pagers. So pagers initially always beeped, and when they beeped, then you would see a little number on them. And then they became really advanced and they could vibrate. The first time mine vibrated, I was driving home and I had the new pager. It had never gone off, and it vibrated on my hip and I almost drove in the ditch. But we created a code, okay? And so the codes were, if that pager ever said 55555, that meant call right now, something is really concerning, but nobody's going to die in the next 10 seconds. 999s, this was before 9/11, 999s meant somebody is going to die right now, call right now. And I got a few of those calls, and they were terrifying every time. But no matter, so I could be literally in the middle of a pelvic exam, and I would walk out. There was nothing more important if it said 999. And because I always responded when Margaret called that, what did she feel like?
She was more important.
She was more important. She was more important. Now, to show you just how brilliant I am, I got a 999 one time. So I'm at the office. I look down and see that and think, oh. So I call her immediately, and she says, Brianna is missing. Brianna was our 3-year-old at the time. Brianna is missing. What do you think I said? Guys, girls can't answer this. Guys, what did I say?
I'll be right there.
No, that would have been a good thing. That would have been a really good thing. No, she said, Brianna is missing. So I said, well, where is she? And very patiently, she didn't say, listen, stupid. She said, well, that's what I'm telling you. She is missing. It turned out that she had gone next door because our kids considered the next door, which was immediately next door, as part of their terrain. It was just part of their home. She went into that house without telling any of the family, that family, went downstairs, went behind one of the little girls' dressers and fell asleep. So the entire neighborhood was looking for her. They had searched that house, and before I got home, because I did take off, I said, I'm done, gotta tell everybody, sorry, I'm out of here, left. And, but by the time I got home, one of that family's daughters said, one more time, said, Brianna! Yes? They found her asleep. Why she did that? Who knows? But that's what happened. So, any other questions? Yeah.
Are there, after you do your family practice residency, are there different fellowships within family practice that you could do or anything like that, or are you just kind of confined to the standard family practice thing?
Well, first of all, there's no standard family practice.
Okay.
But that's an excellent question. But yeah, first of all, there is no standard. So for example, some of my graduates have gone down to southern Utah and said, well, I'm equipped to do surgeries, these surgeries, and I'm equipped to do colonoscopies, and I'm equipped to do cardiac stress tests. But one of the guys down there is already doing all the tubes and tonsils, so I'll just do the colonoscopies. So you kind of get that group niche formation. When I was at IHC Layton, eventually none of the other guys were doing surgery, so I did all the groups, tonsils and tubes, for example. But as far as fellowships, yeah, there's fellowships, and the number's actually growing. Right now, there are fellowships in academic medicine. There are fellowships in sports medicine, which is probably the most used fellowship, especially from our program. There's fellowships in obstetrics, which is the second most used from our program. Especially if you're going to practice obstetrics as a family doc east of the Mississippi, a fellowship really helps you get privileges. You wouldn't necessarily need it here. So there's medicine, there's geriatrics, there's hospice, and there's others, but I can't think of it. And they're growing. There's some that are totally political. I mean, there's no reason that a family doc shouldn't be able to do allergies fellowship, for example, but you have to be internal medicine. And that's just politics.
I got to steal you.
Okay. All right, well, good luck to everybody. Hope to see you more.
There's a project aid thing that we sent out an email about. If you were interested in project aid, go talk to Boomer over here. He's got some cool info for you. We were going to have him say something, but we got to get